So first off, before we begin, I just wanted to say that this whole documentary is going to be based off how cancel culture can ruin people's careers, how it can make someone's careers, to be honest, and how it is a good thing sometimes. Before we start rolling some of the clips of these examples, we'll be getting like a few people's opinions on cancel culture themselves. So here is the first interviewee.
In cancel culture, it's half and half because one, sometimes they do bad things and people start to get depressed because of it. Like, this is a yes or no question for me because if they do something wrong, they're gonna get canceled like immediately, and so they have to know. They sometimes have to know what will get them canceled. If my idol got canceled, and if they did something really seriously bad, then I wouldn't go back to them because I don't want that type of person influencing who I am.
We all know that cancel culture is sometimes wrong, and we all know we sometimes ruin someone's whole reputation. We ruin their status on social media, and it's not a pleasant time for the person who accidentally does. And one of those victims last year was James Charles. A lot of people hated him for a long period of time until he came through and actually explained what had happened. And in these next few clips, I will be showing an accusation he got from Trisha Paytas herself, and the video from last year addressing the scandal.
To insinuate that the relationship between Charlie and I is anything other than just a friendship is absolutely disgusting. Charlie and I, despite not being the same age, had one thing in common, which was coming to the spotlight at a very, very young age. Has said racist things. She said the N-word. She's done blackface. She offended the trans community. She offended the DID community. She said Hitler wasn't that bad of a guy, voted for Trump, and has started a fight with about every single other creator on this platform. The conversation never got inappropriate. Period. Sam mentioned that he was perfectly fine and found the flirting that I was doing flattering. The I'm a celebrity thing is really incredibly frustrating to me because this is an inside joke between my friends and I that Tati has also participated in. This is the joke that really is where we say I'm famous, not I'm a celebrity.
So we all know James was falsely accused based on the previous clips, but I wanted to get someone else's opinion to see what they thought about cancel culture themselves, a little different from the first opinion we got. And here comes the second interviewee.
I do not think cancel culture should exist. I feel like people should educate rather than try to bring people down. I think that society has a big influence on influencers because when you're an influencer, society is kind of what helps you get your clout. And yes, I think they should be aware of like the consequences because like if they do something, like they have to realize when they do something wrong and how to cope with it and fix it. If someone that I idolize was getting canceled, well, my first reaction would be confused because if I idolize them, it's probably because I really like them. I might be a bit biased at first because I watch them and I like their content or whatever they do. If they did something wrong, I'm gonna have to understand that they did something wrong, and I can't just say they didn't just because I like that person. If they learn how to fix their mistake and if they learn from their mistakes, yes. If they continue or if they claim to have fixed the mistake and don't actually, then no. People who might need a reality check, Trisha, because I see that like she always has an opinion on a lot of other people's lives, but
I don't know if you fully remember this, but in the beginning, earlier on, I had said that cancel culture can make someone's whole career, and one of the very good examples of that is Trisha Paytas. So I have a few clips of that, so roll the clips.
I've seen lots of comments from Dixie saying, like, just kind of being really combative and bratty towards people who had criticism of the girls. They're being really disrespectful, just spitting out the food. But I do think since they are role models on such a big platform, they should be called out when they need to be humbled a little, because it's just unbecoming. Be catty and bratty in the comments when people are just like, hey, we're kind of like, this isn't cool behavior. It's just trying to help them learn.
Now, sometimes we know cancel culture goes way too far. We all know that Charlie D'Amelio got a bunch of hate for something that wasn't that big of a deal. Here are a few things that happened to her because of the clips that got people offended.
This messed up stuff that people are saying, like people telling me to hang myself, people just like blatantly disrespecting the fact that I'm still a human being is not okay at all.
Looking back at all these clips, I personally feel like cancel culture should not be a thing. In general, I don't think cancel culture should be a thing.